Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslak talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I wanted to actually talk to you about 270 days of video content marketing or digital content marketing. And I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. I'm going to tell you quickly what the story is with this is I created a really cool platform that I thought would be very, very useful to a lot of people. It was kind of like a sharing economy proofreading platform. I put it up and nothing happened. And I started paying for AdWords, and it turns out Google AdWords, and that was actually really expensive in terms of the budget that I was allocating to this, and quickly realized in terms of growing and building something that was kind of outside of the capabilities that I had. If it was actually profitable, the thing that I made, Reciprocity, was profitable, then it would be fine, right, to do ads. But in terms of building something and doing kind of like the startup approach or kind of just building things organically, it wasn't working. So maybe at one point, if you can figure out, if you sort of think about how to make something profitable, then you can use ads very well. But in the meantime, doing this sort of content marketing and having a content marketing strategy was really effective. So I wanted to show you actually what the results are of doing a video every single day, which turns out is incredibly hard to do, and I'll get into that in a minute. But and you could see my previous videos. I go into every single month. I put out a video to show you what is going on. I think it's just kind of a nice way to show other people that this thing is growing. So in the last month, I have about 30 to 40% growth in watch time. So this is the last 28 months to the previous 28 months. Which is outstanding, right? If you think about that is a lot of people. I think this works out to almost about 4 hours a day of people watching the videos, which is crazy because I put out 10-minute videos at a time, which is amazing. And this has grown up. The number of views has grown by 50% in the last month, which is outstanding. Again, thank you so much for watching this and following along and supporting this project. That is so incredibly nice of you to do that. Truly appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you can see here, what is happening is, so this is the 7-week rolling averages, or you can see here that the growth per month is continuing to grow on a nice little trajectory over time. This kind of sloping upwards is the same from the previous month. That means it's pretty solid growth over time, and it's continuing to grow over time, which is really neat to see that there is this growth over time. So I'm going to show you what happens from the last 365 days in terms of growth. So right here, I was still paying for ads, Google ads, and then I started paying for video ads right around here. And you can see it didn't really make much of a difference. I stopped paying for it right here. That's where there's a tiny bit of a dip right here in terms of Google video ads. And then I started doing content marketing. You can see that there actually is much more growth going on now. But it was a tremendous amount of work to get to that point. I have about 370 YouTube videos out, which is a lot, actually. And considering I'm tenure track or pre-tenure, and I'm worried about tenure and all that kind of stuff, it is a pretty risky strategy to do this kind of thing. So I'm going to show you right now where all of those views are coming from. So this is this is YouTube search, the blue over time. You can see that it is the thing that's really driving what's going on. My content's actually being viewed because it's being found, and people couldn't find it before. So this means that when it's so low here, the purple or blue or whatever color that is, it's so low is because it wasn't being found, but now it's starting to be found over time. And I think part of that has to do with just kind of building authority over time and building that sort of presence along in line, but also learning how to do tags and all that kind of stuff as well. But you can see that it's definitely growing over time, which is wonderful. Thank you again. And actually, I could show you the views so you can see what happens when I switch from paid to. So you can see I was getting a lot more views because I was paying for those. but they were not effective, right? Nobody's really watching any of those particular views. But then I started just doing straight old content marketing. And you can see it's actually being watched over time, and I'm getting more views over time, which is wonderful. Thank you so much. So I'm going to switch to the website right now. This is the website from, this is roughly, what is this? So this is October 1st, and I stopped paying. There was some residual from paying here in terms of the views or number of sessions, but then I stopped paying here, and you can see that over time it is growing kind of consecutively. This is the number of sessions. It's growing consecutively over time, which is nice. Thank you so much for doing that. It's growing kind of slowly, but that's fine. And that's the whole point of this, right? Is that there is kind of slow growth, and I think it's done on purpose, and that's a wonderful thing. So what are these content marketing tools I was going to tell you about on in terms of helping you out with producing anything like this and getting any kind of returns over time? I think that there's roughly, 3 things that you really need. The first one is you just need to have some sort of camera, or your phone, or have a web page or something like that, and just use that as kind of your starting point. The second thing that you need is ideas. And these ideas come from you sort of thinking about what people want. And the way that I sort of done this, and I think it worked pretty well for me, because I'm not getting bored, and it's every once in a while it's difficult to find ideas, but it's generally not. But I pick 3 to 4 personas of sort of things, of people that I am going to write to or talk about and help out. So I have one about writers and proofreaders, and just things that I've learned, because I'm an academic writer, right? So I'm a professor of innovation, so means I have to write a lot. The second one is talking to graduate students, and dealing with sort of all the stuff that graduate students have to deal with, and particularly in a business school. And then the third one is gearing my work towards things I'm interested in innovation, and I'm more or less talking to myself in those particular videos, but obviously I'm talking about you. And then the last one is sort of gearing work towards, or gearing content towards small businesses, startups, and large businesses. So stuff about strategy that I find interesting, and business strategy that I find interesting, and I just put those out. And they're at different days of the week, so I never really get bored, right? So on Mondays I write to writers, or I talk about writers. Tuesdays is kind of a free for all. I kind of don't really have a loose schedule there. I don't have a schedule. Wednesdays is for things in science that I find interesting. Thursdays is all about innovation. Fridays is about graduate, kind of the general things that you deal with in graduate school, and becoming a PhD of some sort. And then Saturday is talking about innovation, or talking about strategy, and getting in talking to business owners or small business owners. And large business owners that are interested in this kind of stuff. So I do, and what that does, it allows me not to get bored, and allows me to produce content pretty repeatedly for a long time, and with different things to talk about. So, one downfall is it's not that focused. But the second thing is it keeps it interesting, and it keeps me interested in continuing to push this stuff out, because I have lots to say about all those kind of things, and I continue to have lots of things to say. So my goal is to continue on for at least a year now, so I'm going to make it to July 1st, putting out a video every day. So look forward to doing that, and I'm that's it. That's all I'm going to say at this moment. But what you should do, the final thing that you should do, and I forgot, sorry. The final thing that you should do is make sure that you are just consistent in putting this stuff out and grinding away. It's a tremendous amount of work to do this. It's very, very hard to do this, and to keep focused this long. Most people are not going to be able to do it. And you just have to have the mindset that you're just going to keep doing this and keep pushing it out for a long time. So that's all I'm going to say in this particular video. I'm going to go now, and hopefully you take care, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video. All right, bye.